going? There we go. If you change the way you look, the things you look at change. Friends and grasshoppers, this is episode number 137 of the Formless Podcast with Tyler, the superhuman, and me, Dustin. Today we're going to do something just a little bit different. We got live. We're streaming this live on Instagram. And we're just going to play with this, see how it works, see how it goes. This episode, those of you that are watching live, will come out in 2 weeks. So, yeah, there we go.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. Today was a beautiful, beautiful morning. Sun's shining, skies are blue, grass is green, birds are singing. Lots of things happening.
It's definitely a change from what we've had the last couple of weeks with the rain and
storms,
cold, and now it's blue skies. And I came out today, like when I went to get my vehicle and to come here, and the weather was just like really warm. Like I'm ready almost to go swimming.
Yeah. It's almost there. Like you could feel it. You could feel it in the air. It's just like breath of fresh air. But you know what's funny is, like we were talking, we're gonna hit another cold burst here pretty soon, or cold front, or whatever the heck weather people call it. I don't know, but I know it's coming. Like it's gonna be nasty. We got that one more, like right as spring's about to hit, we get that cold front, and then it like hard freezes. So it's coming.
It's coming. It does every year, or at least the last couple of years, where it warms up and the plants are like, oh, time to come out, time to bloom. And then they bloom, and then their leaves come out, and then it gets cold again. Yeah. Like, and a bunch of the fruit trees at my parents' house blossomed, and then we got a bunch of rain and storms. And I don't know if those fruit trees are going to have fruit on them, because I don't know if the bees or the moths or the flies were out pollinating in that time frame.
It wreaks havoc on my sinuses too.
Oh, really?
Oh man. When it, like, I can acclimate, like if it stays like this for a couple of months or a couple of weeks, I'll be fine. Like it'll be a rough couple of days, but then if it starts going back and forth and changing, I just like I can't breathe, or I can't talk. It just, but you know, whatevs. It's good. It's all good.
Has that been like that since you were a kid?
No, I hit 30 and I got sinus issues. Like I've always had, I always had like some problems, but like it seems like I hit 30 years old and I couldn't breathe. Like, yeah, I just finally, like, I think my doctor got tired of talking to me and was like, listen, if you don't start taking a daily allergy medication, you are going to come see me every time every time the flowers bloom, you're going to come see me with like sinus headaches and pressure and like, yeah, good times, but whatevs. It's life. You know, you can't get hung up on it.
Now, do you have to take that medication all day, every day? I mean, like year round?
I take an over-the-counter 24-hour like Allegra, or what do I take? Something. And I had done that. I've done that for a long time. Just in the last year, I only take it as needed now, because my weird, irrational mind was always like, you know, if there's ever a shortage of this, or an issue where like I'm away from my house, like I get evacuated or something happens and I can't take that, I'm going to have a really rough time. Like I'm going to depend on that. And I don't like that idea. So I've slowly weaned myself off, and now I only take it like when it's bad. When it's bad. Hey, trainer Benny Green's on. Hey Benny, good to hear from you. I can't talk. I'm learning. What's up? Yeah. So I've slowly like weaned myself off of that, and now I take it like as needed when it's bad. But
well, that sounds like a good plan. Then you're not dependent on that.
Yeah. I don't like that idea of like being dependent on it. Not that I was addicted to it or something weird like that, but I just had this like irrational fear of like, if for some reason I can't get to that and I need it, then I'm going to be like freaking out. So I don't want it. And then the other thing too is like something must have happened. I was just like, I wonder if there's a side effect of taking this every day for multiple years. And so I just kind of weaned myself off of it. Like I took one this morning, but I took one yesterday. But before that, I probably hadn't had one in a month or so. Just, hedge my bets. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's like if you eat ice cream every day because you like ice cream, right? Well, that's going to have some health consequences.
Well, what do you think? So, honey. Right? So honey, do you think honey would have an effect on, because, so like for honey,
I've always heard this.
We got to eat local honey. Like honey is just great for you. Like I've really been looking into this. It's great for you all around. It's got, I think it's just
kind of stuff, natural stuff in it.
And it's great for, I think, allergies. Because the bees take the pollen and off all the local flowers, and so like that's. So by eating honey, your body is localized honey, right? Yeah. Like I don't eat honey that's from Colorado, right? like I don't even eat honey that's like.
So like, because you guys have a honeybee hive, right? Like,
well, yeah, but all the bees did not.
They didn't produce.
They didn't. They didn't survive the wet winter.
So you start over.
Yeah. So honey, right? So I buy local, and it's right down the road from our house. Is this person sells honey? So I'm like, these are flowers. This is pollen that the bees are collecting from flowers that are like within a couple miles of our house. Like that's where you need to be eating that honey, because then it helps your immune system. It helps your allergies. Like, have you ever thought about that?
I have, and I've done that.
And
I don't know. And it could have been me. It could have been all the other things that I was doing at the time. I might revisit that. I might go back to that. But that's definitely food for thought. I should give that some more thought.
Yeah, honey is food, literally.
Yeah. Well, and it's great. It tastes great. You know what doesn't go bad?
It never goes bad.
It doesn't spoil. I read an article not too long ago about like some archaeologist, Indiana Jones type dude, found this honey that was supposedly like 1,000 years old or something, and it was still edible. It was still good.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
Why not? It's interesting.
And honey is used as like a wound salve, to put on wounds. It's got so much stuff in it.
Really?
Yeah, right.
I did not know that.
Yeah. So you
could put it on like cuts and things?
Yes.
Wow.
I mean, it's going to keep your skin and everything moist, right? It's a moisturizer. It's like used for a wound salve.
I know, like, my neighbor does a whole bunch of like natural health products and stuff, and she's awesome. SIBO Skin, if you're out there. It's she's at the farmer's market every weekend. But she makes stuff for like your hair and your fingernails and your skin, and she uses a lot of tallow and a lot of honey in her ingredients, along with like all sorts of flowers and herbs and different things. She's got like this whole thing in her garage, like this. Her husband calls it. What's he call it? Oh, he's got this funny name for it, and I can't think of it right now. But anyway, she's got this like corner of the garage that's like her laboratory, yeah, for lack of a better term. And she makes all sorts of concoctions and stuff.
Oh,
and she's like, cool. My wife's bought a couple of things from her, and she's been given a couple of things from her, and they all smell good. Like they're all cool. I've actually used some. I had some weird skin breakout thing on my eyelids a while back, and I was using that, and picked up something off them. Picked up some weird thing on my foot, and I had gone to the doctor and had it burned off a couple of times, and then it kept coming back, and she gave me something. It was like it was hydrogen peroxide based. And I don't think she made that. But anyway, she hooked me up with some stuff, and it was the only thing that made it go away permanently and not come back. So kudos to that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
She probably knows everything about honey and what honey.
I'll have to ask her about that. That would be cool.
But yeah, that's funny because we're talking about the changing of the seasons. It's spring. Well, the bees are out.
Yeah.
They're collecting up all the pollen and
doing their
pollinating things. Yeah. And it's just funny how seasons can all of a sudden shift, bam, like
yeah. And then other times it's more gradual.
Yeah, it's more gradual. Like sometimes like summer into fall, it's like that to me is more gradual. Like all of a sudden one day, like in September, you're like, okay, it's fall, right? You can just feel it. But sometimes it's just a slow gradual roll. And even fall into winter is like last fall just felt like it was more of a slow roll into winter. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, you get a bunch of rain. You're like, okay, we're in winter now. But this one, like right now, like what we've just experienced was like rain, cold, warm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Our lives can be like that too.
I would say our weather patterns up here are very bipolar.
Yep.
Like we had 2 weeks ago, I woke up to snow coming down, drove to work with snow, and, worried about my son, who's a new driver, driving to the college and doing all of his things, and like, okay, crap, he's never driven in this stuff. To by lunch, it's gone. Like the sun came out and it all melted. I mean, it's been, for lack of a better term, bipolar. But change is fun like that, like with the right attitude anyway. Change it could be rapid, it could be slow.
Yeah. Like just like your quote. What was that quote? Bring that quote up again.
Oh, let me bring it up. So
that was a profound quote.
If you change the way you look, the things you look at change.
If you change the way you look, the things you look at change.
Yeah. Good
Interesting.
times.
Yeah. No, I think we all go through change in our lives, and like when things.
Well, like, okay, when you're in your 20s, your late teens, you can stay out all night. You can do all the things, and then wake up the next morning at the crack of dawn and get rocking and rolling, like no problem. And you can do that, rinse and repeat over and over again for quite a while. At least I used to be able to, right? And then you hit an age where like that kind of keeps that, like you paid the piper, right?
Yeah, now, he catches up.
Now he catches up and like, oh no, you're going to feel that. Like, oh, your back's going to hurt. Your knee hurts, right? My dad used to race motorcycles in the 70s and early 80s. And he's all busted up. Like his knees are shot, his shoulders messed up, his back's all jacked up. And like he could tell you when the weather's going to change. Like, oh, it's going to be cold tomorrow. I can feel it in his bones.
Yeah.
I can feel it, And as a kid, I used to laugh at that. Like I thought that was funny, right? Like, oh my God, no, you're not that old. Like, stop whining, right? And now I'm like, I get out of bed, I can feel it. Like if I go train hard, or if I go work in the yard, or work on the car or something, and I'm hunched over or I'm in a weird position for a long time. I'm like, oh, I'm going to feel that, you know? Or like I've gone to sleep on my arm and you wake up in the middle of the night and you're like, oh, I can't feel
slowly got to move it to the position to stretch it out.
Yeah. That's all change. That's all change, bud.
Yeah, no, it's interesting to see different people and when they change and you just see kids in the dojo here, right? As they grow and they get older and they change. I think we were talking about that recently with a lot of the kids that they
Speaking of, I found the video of Cole, my middle son, like doing the whole drill sergeant counting out loud.
Yeah.
I reposted that.
We need to see that on the Facebook feed.
I will share. It's like 10 years old now.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Man, I remember that when I remember watching him now.
And now like he's 16.
That's crazy. Like I remember he was just like 2.5 feet tall or whatever it was, you know, like
just a half pint.
Yeah. 3 feet tall. And, but yeah. And you see it in the kids where I've seen it with so many kids, they're running around and they're free spirited and they're just like loose, right? They're bouncing around. And then as they get older, like and something changes, they change, they mellow out a little bit more, you know, when they get into like their teens, and
they become aware.
Yeah,
there's an innocence lost there.
Yeah,
but for some, I think it's a good thing.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, it can be good, it can be bad, but like. You suddenly become aware of your surroundings and like, oh wow, I'm not just in my own little world here. You know, the boundary
has expanded
beyond what I am. You know, it's cool. You know, I've been kind of going back over what I've learned in martial arts and like what I'm learning. And I have to revisit things quite often because I teach the gamut of students. We have a lot of beginners. Majority of my students are beginners, which is cool because like the foundational things that you learn as a beginner carry on and you add on to that. But like those, I always heard the term like the foundation stuff that you learn, the basics. That stuff's important, but it's so understated. Like those foundational skills that you learn are critical. And as I get older and as I mature and as I learn more, I realize just how much more deep that little pond is. Right?
It's like a mile deep.
Yeah. Or it's only a couple of feet across, but it's like hundreds of feet deep.
Hundreds of feet deep. Yeah. That's rather than,
it's just like it's not just a puddle.
And there's a lot more pressure that way because if you think about it, right, you've got like,
as you go deeper.
Yeah. The pressure gets greater, right? You have 100-foot tube, right? Like a 1-inch pipe that's 100 feet deep. Well, all that water is stacked on top of each other.
It weighs,
and it weighs down, and that's what creates that pressure. And so, yeah, you're right. That it is. It's a small pond that's
super deep.
The basics, right? Yeah. Just like the basics. And that's what goes back to what Bruce Lee said in the Tao of Jeet Kune Do. He said, the height of any art is in its simplicity.
Yeah. I've been watching a lot of instructional videos and things because I always like to. I find that like if I'm not careful, I'll just rinse and repeat the same stuff over and over again. So I'm always trying to like find new ideas and listen to other perspectives, just to like try and break myself out of ruts.
Right.
Whether I'm training, whether I'm teaching, whether I'm working, whatever the case may be, I will like find a rut and I'll just stay there like, and not realize it until I've like many weeks into it. And like, oh yeah, I've been doing the same thing for like 6 weeks. Like I got to change this. So like I read or I watch videos or try and find something to break up that monotony. And I've been lately watching some instructional videos on boxing, just different techniques, or I'll watch some Muay Thai stuff, just anything to kind of like get me thinking,
Right.
Break me out of this rut. And 99% of the stuff that I've seen lately has probably been foundational, basic stuff, just with a unique twist. There's some little caveat on top of it. Like, okay, here's the basic. You start out the basic thing and it changes and morphs over time. Like everything, like when you learn something new, you can't just give them the final product.
No.
You got to like slow roll it out and be like, okay, you're going to do this steps 1 through 3, and that'll add up. Eventually you'll get, you'll get the final product here, but you have to learn how to do those first few steps and first. But after you've done that, like if you go back to it, do you find that you see stuff, you see stuff that you missed the first time?
Oh yeah.
Right?
Like,
when you learn how to drive. You learn how to drive a car, you're looking out the windshield, you're checking your mirrors. You do all the things, and then you learn how to operate all of the stuff, the brakes, the gas, the blinker, the shifter, all of the things. You learn how to do all of that stuff. And then you try and pull out on the street and somebody honks because you're like you're late on the brake, or you're really hard on the brake or whatever. And it's like you figured out how to do everything inside the automobile, the car, but you forgot about your area awareness.
oh, okay. Yes.
Right?
Yes,
Like, oh, wait a minute. There's stuff going on outside of this car too that I have to pay attention to. Right? It's like set 1. We learned set 1. And it's all step forward, throw a punch.
Right.
Kick, cover your head, cover your groin, da 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 da. You learn all of that stuff. And then you spar. Well, you've learned it on this one plane, right? I go forward, I punch, I come back. I go forward, I kick, I come back. And then you realize, like, whoa, this guy's moving all over the place. He's going left, he's going right, he's ducking, he's jumping, he's backing up, and all of these things. You're like, wait, there's this whole spatial awareness thing that I missed. And the stuff that you learned necessarily, hasn't changed, but like you've changed, because now you're looking at it from a whole nother angle.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Yes.
Like, oh man, I was unaware of all of this stuff.
And you're talking regarding looking like like being a black belt now, looking back and being like, oh, when I was a white belt, I was just in and then out, hit and then okay, yeah. And you see it now as an instructor now.
Yeah, you totally see it
the
now.
Newer students.
And it's a weird thing to see. Like you're like, oh, I was there, I did that.
Yep,
I know how to. And then so like, I find myself like going, okay, now. You're just trying to like feed them through a fire hose. Like, oh, you want to give them all the stuff, but they can't retain all of that.
No, they can't.
And nobody can. It's like, so you make movies. Your job is to take the script, visual, you're reading what's on paper and transform that into a visual thing. Mm-hmm. So like the first time you did that, it was probably kind of clunky.
Oh, very.
Right?
Yeah, the
You're
first
like,
couple ones, yeah.
You're like filling in the blanks, and you got all this dialogue you got to try and make happen. There's a description. What are they wearing? What are they driving? What are they doing? Are they eating? Are they sitting at a table? Are they drinking coffee? Like all of that stuff, it can be overwhelming. Mm-hmm. Same thing with like the martial arts aspect, right? We just show them a handful of techniques, and then you throw them into an event where they're sparring with somebody who's done it for 6 months or a year, and it's night and day difference of like, oh, whoa, wait a minute. I'm supposed to do what?
And they're fighting to keep their hands up and keep their stance right. And then all the while dodging punches from their opponent. Right. Exactly. And so like, it's very clunky. And because you have to go through that gate, what we call it, and winged out that gate and the zones of action, the unawareness and then awareness and then decision, timing, and action. And I see it like when we're explaining it to, like, say, Scott. Scott's been a great student.
Yeah.
In the adult class. And I'll tell him, I'll like, well, just kick like this. Just kick like this. Like, just do it.
Yeah, just do it like that. Well, that's because you've done it how many times?
Quite a few times, right? But he hasn't. So he's like, you could just see the look on his face. And Scott, we're not making fun of you. We're just using it. Like, this is just a great example of you teaching us, where he's just like, well, that's a complicated kick to do, or like that's,
and it has to do with all of those things you just talked about: unawareness, awareness, decision, timing, action.
And that's change is in the middle of all that.
All of that. You're changing through each one of those things because you're first unaware. You don't know what you're supposed to do. You don't know where you're supposed to be positioned. You don't know what you don't know. And then as you become aware of those things, you're like trying to figure it out, but your timing's off, or your distance is off, or there could be 100 other things. Like, you get one thing and you do 99 things wrong. Mm-hmm. And then you get one more thing and you do 10 things wrong.
Yes.
And it's always like this give and take of like, oh, I learned this thing, but now all these things are wrong. And then I learned that thing, and then all of this stuff is wrong.
Right.
And it's this constant process of starting over again, I feel.
Yes.
As a kid, that used to frustrate me so much when I would learn something new. And I just realized that it still frustrates me today. So I would get overwhelmed as a kid in school. I was a terrible student in school.
Really?
I had no patience. I couldn't sit still. I was very much hyperactive and easily distracted. My elementary school had a row of desks that faced the front of the classroom and the blackboard. And then on the left side, in every class from from kindergarten all the way up until probably high school, had this ginormous row of windows. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm not going to look at a blackboard for 8 hours a day or 6 hours a day. I was out here looking at the windows, man. Like, what's
going on outside?
What's going on
the birds and the trees.
And if that teacher had any monotony in their voice or wasn't animated at all, man, my head was this way, looking out at the windows. Like, I'm not going to. That's boring. Like, yeah, you already said that. I'm looking over here. Very rarely did I pay attention. But I would get overwhelmed with the sense of, like, if I didn't understand something or I was slow to grasp something, that would overwhelm me. And then I had the windows. So now not only am I overwhelmed, but I'm not even paying attention because I'm looking out at the blue sky, right, or the bird flying by, or the plane, or, hey, there's other kids out there. How come I'm not out there?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I just realized this the other day. I haven't changed in that aspect. I'm still easily overwhelmed and distracted. I got new stuff at work, right? My job changed a little bit. I just started to get comfortable with, like, knowing my role and knowing what I did and, like, knowing who to go to when there was a problem or there's a question. Like, okay, I know if I do this, I got to go talk to this guy. And if it's this situation, I got to go talk to this lady over here. So I was getting comfortable with that. And my boss and her boss pulled me in and they're like, hey, you're doing a good job. here's a raise and here's some more work to do. Right. And so I completely started over, and we have things called tickets. And so like each job, each specific task is a ticket. And when I first started, I think we had like 150 tickets on the board. And so I like whittled that down to less than 100. I had like 75 or 80 at one point. And I was like feeling really good about it because that's manageable. That's like a manageable chunk. Well, they give me this news and I'm like, great, woohoo, raise, awesome, more work. Uh-oh. So my ticket board ballooned up to like 250 tickets. And so for like 3 weeks straight, I've just had nothing but like stress and anxiety because of me, because I have this arbitrary number in my head of where it should be and where it is. Right. And so I'm like just constantly like freaking out and gritting my teeth and I don't know what to do. And instead of like being rational about it and like breaking it up into chunks or like working with what I know, completely freaked out and like couldn't handle it for a day or two or longer than that. And I'm slowly getting into it and like working that process over again. But I just now sitting here realizing that I have not changed since grade school. It's still the same process of like overwhelmed, distracted. And
interesting.
my desk, I moved my desk around so I'm not facing the windows because I have this amazing view at my office where I work now. Like I could see Mount Shasta, I could see the Sundial Bridge, I could see the river. And it's like on a day like today, if that's in my peripheral view, like I'm going to be looking out there and it's going to be all out here instead of where I need to be getting the work done. Right. So I flip my desk around so I face the wall and the windows are behind me. So I can see it when I walk in, but like now when I sit down at the desk, I'm facing work and I get work done instead of get distracted.
Well, isn't that interesting? Because 150 years ago, you probably would have been out in the mountains cutting wood or farming or in the mines, or out on a boat. And so you would have been in that what is now a distraction for you at work, right?
Yeah.
You would have been in that back then, but now you're at a desk in a building that's like, and you're just confined right to that one spot for the most part. Yeah. So, but anyways, that was just an interesting thing I thought about, like, cause you're constantly getting distracted by the outside, the real world, right?
Ooh, deep. I like it.
But do you think that's so? I think that's the thing that I see a lot of people do, right? We get overwhelmed and then we look for a distraction, like relief from that, right?
Yeah.
Like, and I think that's what a lot of people, when you see them in a situation that they are uncomfortable or they can't control. And so they'll all of a sudden they'll whip out their phone and start scrolling, right? And that's like their
head in the sand.
I was gonna I was gonna say like sucking your thumb. Like for me, is chewing my fingernails, right? Like it's like a pacification.
Yeah. We're looking for relief from something, and I think it boils down to an unawareness of what's going on. Like, oh, there's just so much of whatever this is. I can't deal with that right now. So instead of dealing with this and facing this issue, I'm just going to pacify myself with something else. Like, oh, here's my phone. I'll just look at my phone until that feeling goes away. Or I'll bite my fingernails or suck my thumb or, oh, I think I'm kind of hungry. Maybe I'll go get something to eat out of the kitchen. Yeah.
It's they're pacifications or they're distractions.
For sure. And it's weird because like, speaking personally, like when I'm when I can identify that, like when I'm rational, which is few and far between, but like I can identify that and go, oh, okay, you're just distracting yourself right now. You need to stop that. And it's a muscle that I think everyone could work out. That awareness,
Absolutely.
that awareness situational awareness, emotional awareness. Like, oh, why am I feeling this way right now? What's causing me to want to be this, to go for this distraction? What is the case here? What's going on? Well, work's going crazy, or I'm fighting with somebody, or I'm stressed out because of blah, 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 blah. Okay, well, is that why I've spent the last 45 minutes scrolling on TikTok? Or like ruffling through the fridge looking for something that's not there, that is not going to fix this problem?
That's good. That's a good way to look at it. I would also like to think too, like, so there's issues that, right, we need to take care of, right? Like you talk about, so like say your, let's say you have a issue in your home. Like what's something in your home that breaks or needs to be fixed regularly?
Always the thing that you least expect it, and always at the worst possible time.
Right. Yep. And so that happens, and how often does it break and then we put it off? Like even though we need it and we put it off, and we'll go watch TV for 2-3 hours when we could have fixed the thing in 45 minutes, but it's easier to go watch TV.
Yeah. You look for that distraction.
Yeah. The flip side of that is okay, but then you're always looking for something to fix or something to tidy up or something to organize. Mm-hmm. Is that like the other extreme where it's like you're very impulsive and you're very much like, I mean, that in itself could be a distraction, right? Instead of fixing the thing that needs to be fixed, you go and tidy up the other room. Like,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And then tidying up the other room becomes a thing in and of itself. And then that's its own distraction. But like, I like to think of when something breaks, you just fix it.
Yeah.
When something needs to be done, you just do it.
Well, and that's
when the homework needs to be done,
you just
do the homework, right? Like in high school, I can remember, like in college, putting off that paper, right? Putting off that 5-page, 10-page paper until like the day before, or like,
and then it's like, oh, I got to get to work now.
like 10 p.m. at night. Okay, I should start working on this. It's due at 9 a.m.
Yeah.
Like I should start cranking this out, right? And it's like the older I get, it's just like, it kind of goes back to like what Bruce Lee says, like you just be like water, and like you become what it takes to get to overcome your opponent, right? Like, or you know what I'm saying?
The obstacle,
the problem.
Yeah.
You just become that. Well, that's the same thing. Like if something breaks in your house at the worst possible time, okay, you may not be able to fix it right then, but as soon as you can, it's like you move to it and you fix it and just done and moving on, rather than avoidance or distraction.
So, but we don't always know what the problem is.
True.
So like my wife, I love her to death. She will start, if she has some feeling that she doesn't know what to do or with, she's upset about something, or she's angry with me, which is frequent on something, she'll start furiously cleaning things. And she'll be cleaning things that may or may not necessarily be dirty.
Right.
But it's like she's keeping her hands busy. She's keeping her mind like clear, like focused on something, so she can like in the background process what's going on. And I'm pretty dense and I don't always realize it. So I'll be like, what are you doing? What's going on? Like, why are you cleaning that baseboard that's pretty clean right now? I mean, there's other things that are dirty that you could be cleaning, but you're cleaning that thing for like the last 20 minutes. What's going on? And she's just she's keeping herself busy to not be overwhelmed.
Right.
Like it's like her way of like putting everything in order, I guess. I don't know. Another thing I just realized right now while I'm sitting here talking with you. That's wow, I'm enlightened. That's good.
I know we like to think that we're doing this podcast to help other people, which we are, but sometimes
It helps us.
It helps us.
You know that oh man.
Go ahead. No, I see that. I see that in a lot of other people where we'll, and I do it too, right? It's like go organize something as a means
I'll go clean
of
out the garage while I'm like avoiding this other thing.
Yeah, avoiding this.
But it's also a way of like, okay, I'm going to keep my mind busy so I can actually
work through
that problem.
Yeah. Process it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I think that's good. Like definitely for me, I know something that I do that I thought was just this bizarre thing that I do but I saw it on a TikTok video where this lady was talking about her husband. And I was like, man, I do the same thing, which is this, that sometimes I'll just go like drive.
Uh-huh.
And you're just like, it's just almost
going for a drive.
Well, you're driving, but it's like you're moving through space and time.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing something, but you're still sitting in one spot. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I'm not moving. The vehicle is moving. My foot's moving on the pedal and on the steering wheel. But like you'll just go drive and I realize that's a lot of way. That's a way for me to process things and like cool down or prepare myself for things or just think about things, you know?
So you've heard about like the hemispheres of your brain. You have like a right brain and a left brain, and they both occupy different activities. Like they both take care of separate things. So my wife is really fascinated with this right now. She's going to school for psychology. She's learning a whole bunch of stuff, and she's like identified certain things, her left brain, certain things, her right brain. I don't know because I'm not educated at all in this subject, but I think that like the act of driving is one hemisphere of the brain and like occupies that portion of the brain. So the other part of the brain can like rationalize and think out through that issue. It's the same thing with like cleaning. You're cleaning, one half the brain's operating and dealing with something while the other brain deals with something. And I don't know how to tie all of this together yet, but I've been really thinking about this in like terms of martial arts, right? Like when we talk about theories and concepts, and then we try and put them into play. Right? Like something simple, like the zone of action. You start from the outside of that zone, you go into that zone with an attack or with an action. Super simple concept, right? Like you're doing two things at once. You're moving into this space as you do something, as you punch, as you kick, you're coming into that space. But to put it into practice and doing it, like there's too many competing things going on, right? Like I remember thinking about this when I was first learning it and like how simple the idea is, but how complex it is at the same time. Like, why can't I just make myself do this? And I end up overthinking it and then you mess it up more.
Yep.
Right?
Yes.
Like I made a live video this morning. This reel, like I always do like the Saturday updates, right? And I knew what I wanted to say, but in the moment, like going through the thing, I start talking and I'm trying to be natural and I'm trying to be like informative and natural, but like I start thinking, okay, don't forget this thing.
Yeah.
Don't. And then that half of that hemisphere of the brain takes over and is like trying to be the drill sergeant.
Yep.
And then it loses its flow and natural thing. And so like I'm competing with myself and Does that make sense?
It does.
Like,
it
so,
does.
So
it's tugging in two different ways.
Yeah. And we have this action where like the rational part and the irrational part are competing for who's in control. So I had to do it like, I don't know. I spent like a half hour making a 1 minute video going over and over and over again. Cause I was like, and even the finished product was shaky, but at best, but like it got out there. We got the job done.
And I think part of that goes to you're sitting there with your phone and you want it to be perfect. You want it to be perfect.
Well, like in your head, you know how it's supposed to go.
Yes, yeah.
And then you can't put the toothpaste back into the tube once it's out there, you know? It's good times.
You can't put the toothpaste back in the tube.
Yeah.
That's a good saying right there. I've never heard that one.
You've never heard that?
No. Did you make that one up?
No, I've heard that. That's like, I don't know who came up with that, but I did hear that somewhere else. That's not an original. Can't trademark that. But I don't know if it's necessarily like your brain. Like there's hemispheres of your brain. I don't know. I think this might get a little woo-woo, so I apologize ahead of time. But I think like your brain is like the operating system, right? Your brain operates your heart, your lungs, all of the things that make you go. I don't necessarily know that your brain is your thoughts.
Yes, I agree.
Right? Like your spirit, your soul, your essence, whatever that thing is, I think that has a lot to do with it too. And I think those two things compete against each other. Like yourself and your brain are not on the same playing field all the time. And I think there's a constant struggle for control. Like your brain, especially when things get hard or stressful, your brain's like, well, I'm in charge and this is what we're going to do. Because I'm operating all these other systems, right? I'm making your heart beat. I'm making you breathe. I'm making you think. You know how to tie your shoes because of me, so I'm in charge. And like yourself is like, wait a minute, let's back up a little bit. Let's think about this. Let's figure out how this operates and make sure it goes smoothly. You know, like I don't know what to call that other thing.
I know what you're saying. It's like you go to wash your hands, right? You don't sit there and go like, okay, I need to turn on the water, and then I need to put my left hand on top of the soap dispenser and push down and pump soap into my hand. And then I need to wet my hands and then I need to scrub them together. Like you don't do that. You just do it.
Yeah. But like, okay.
And that's kind of what you're saying.
Yeah.
like,
yeah. On the flip side of that, like, okay, your brain, like, could you imagine if you had to think about your heart beating?
Oh, no.
Every time.
That's a good way to,
right?
Yeah.
Like, okay, keep your heart beating. You're thinking that every beat, boom, boom, I got to beat the heart. I got to beat the heart. The heart's got to go. The heart's got to go. And then something else happens, anything, you know, you're like heartbeat, heartbeat, heartbeat. And you walk in and go, hey, Dustin, what's going on? Right? So these things, we're getting in the woo woo, but you know,
no, this is good stuff.
It's interesting how, and this transitioned and changed and morphed from our original idea quite a bit, but I like to think of it like that though. Like your brain is this computer program that likes to file everything away.
Yes.
Put things like this is order. This is structure. This is how we do things. In a perfect world, that's all you would need is that structure and that order. But life is so imperfect that you can't solely rely on that. You have to adapt and flow with those changes. If everything was in perfect order, today would have been ruined because I would have expected more rain, more cold, and I wouldn't be ready. You know, I'm wearing a t-shirt and jeans and tennis shoes because I looked outside and was like, oh, it's going to be a nice day today. You know, whereas my brain was prepared for winter weather, cold weather. I made coffee this morning because I need a little pick-me-up. Whereas my brain's like, no, we're up. We're ready to go. We're going out the door. We don't need any of this. Like, we have an order and an organization and a process to do this. Those two things are, they can work together. They can work alongside each other. But a lot of times, for me, speaking personally, a lot of times they're at odds with each other sometimes. If I'm not careful, it'll grind me to a halt. They're competing all the time for control.
Yep. That's there's like the motor skills you have in your brain, right, in your body, and then there's like the conscious skills you do, and then it's like it goes back to that like unconscious incompetence. Like how does that go? There's 5 levels really, but they say 4. They go
conscious, incompetence,
conscious incompetence.
Conscious incompetence.
No, unconscious incompetence.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Conscience incompetence, and then conscience competence, and then unconscious competence, and then there's the conscience unconscious competence. That's the 5th level, they say. You've heard of those?
I've heard
Brighton
of this.
Will know those.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, she probably.
So
she's a smart cookie.
It's another way of saying the gates, and the you're unaware, then you become aware, and then you do things.
You have to make a decision.
Well, you have to make a decision, and then I mean but those first 2 stages, unawareness and awareness. So you become aware. So first you don't know something. Yeah. Right. You don't know that you don't know something. Then you become aware. Oh, I don't know how to golf. Right. I never paid attention to golf before, but now, okay, I know I don't know how to golf. Then I learn to play golf, but I'm doing it for a while where it's rough. It's rough, and you really have to try. And then you do it, and then after a while, you're just having a conversation with somebody while golfing. You're not even thinking about golfing. You're just doing it. Yeah. Right. And that's the unconscious competence.
This all ties into something I want to talk about later. Okay. Like not today, but like on a future episode. I want to go through some of the gates and like how those relate and what those mean. But that's really awesome. I remember Blaine Sensei Court talking about conscious incompetence and unconscious competence in regards to tactics and things and like.
I want to say he was the first person I heard it from.
He may very well have been. It brought me into a sparring drill we were doing where it was pretty intense, and I would turtle up when I would get like overwhelmed. I just kind of cover my head and just look at the ground. Yeah. And it's kind of funny. He ended up, because he was getting frustrated with me. I frustrate my friends a lot. But he ended up, we're sparring, and it'd get hot, it'd get hard or hot, busy, whatever, and I'd turtle up. So he got frustrated with me, I think, and he ended up putting his arm over the back of my head when I'd turtle up, and then just started throwing uppercuts at me and like just reining them in, like, quit doing that, and it worked. Eventually it worked. But it did 2 things. One, it made me conscious of the fact that like this is a security blanket I'm doing, but it's not helping me because now I've limited my mobility. I can't see anything. I've covered up. I'm not doing anything proactive to get myself out of that situation. I'm just stuck in the mud, so to speak. So it made me aware of it really quickly because he's like, bah, 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 right? And it's like, okay, don't do that again, right? But then it made me go, okay, well, what else can I do? Like, what else do I need to do to avoid that situation? And it was a harsh way of like showing me what not to do right away.
Yes.
You know, and I still like, I still find myself occasionally doing that if I'm not careful, but I'm aware of it now. Like, or I become aware of it. Like, oh, I catch myself. Oh, don't fall into that trap again. Don't get there. So that's the whole unconscious conscious incompetence and unconscious competence kind of thing right there. But eventually I'd like to speak on the gates and the how it's not a linear or a ladder. It's a circle, and how important that is, because like you still find yourself going around that circle and learning stuff that you thought you knew. Like at least I'm not speaking to you about that. I'm speaking about myself. Like,
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I continually go around this circle and find myself back at the beginning again and seeing things that I missed the first 10 times around. So
that's great though.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
It's awesome. That whole thing with the gates started because like, I know you're going to be gone here in a couple weeks. You're going to go drill for National Guard. And so when that happens, I've like got to prepare, right? I've got to find a guest or I've got to do a solo cast. So I want to have some ideas. So I start bankrolling things, little ideas, notes. I jot to myself and start talking about it. And one of the things I've wanted to tackle for a long time is the gates. And I've been overwhelmed with it because it's like it's a simple topic, but it's so broad in terms.
Oh, man,
like you can go deep. And it's got Buddhist theory involved in it. It's got Taoism involved in it and things. And so I'm at lunch. There's two things I try and do every day. I work out some form of martial arts every day, and I try and work on the podcast every day. Mm-hmm. Even if it's just like 10 minutes or 20 minutes or 5 minutes, try and do something like that every single day. And so I carry this notebook around with me and I jot down ideas, and that counts for me. Like, oh, hey, I got an idea. I wrote it down. If nothing else, at least I did something. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I've been this gate thing, and I've been kind of like going back and forth with this idea of like how to talk about a simple topic, but super deep, super involved. And been playing with AI and like organizing my thoughts. And I found myself like, I'll type in a phrase in AI and it's like, oh, that's a great idea. First of all, AI will always tell you it's a great idea. If you say, hey, I want to rob a bank, AI most likely will be like, hey, yeah, great idea. Here's how you're going to do it. Don't listen to it. It's a great tool, but just like any tool, it could work. It could work or it can't work. Uh-huh. Like it's super powerful, but you got to be careful with it. So I use it to organize my thoughts, and I'll jot down like ideas and be like, okay, help me put this in a pattern, or put this in a thing with like an opening, a beginning, and a close. Like organize this for me. Right. Here's 10 random things that I want to talk about. Give me 3 different flows for this, so they'll go into a thing. So I did that with the gates. I put the 4 gates in there, put the 4 dragons, put the 4 warriors in there. And I'm like, help me talk about this. Well, immediately this thing goes into this spiel about a ladder and how you're climbing the ladder. And I'm like, whoa, buddy. It's not necessarily a ladder. It's a circular thing. You start at the top, or you start at one point and you go and you come back to the first point because you see things that you missed the first time through.
Right.
And then it was like, oh, okay. So now, da 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 da. And then it gives you like, it gave me like this analogy of like how most people are stuck between the two gates. And I go, I don't really think so. So do you think most people are stuck between the first gate, which is a blindness, and the second gate, which is duality, right? Blindness, duality. Yeah. Do you think that most people are stuck between those two gates? Just in life in general. So blindness, you don't know what you don't know, right? Blindness, you're unaware of something.
Right.
And when you learn a new skill or a new technique or a new thing, you're blind to it. And then as you become more familiar with it, you know it, but there's still things to learn, basically, duality.
Yeah.
Right? I don't think most people are there. And I think the ego kind of plays into this.
Like they're so you don't think they're stuck there?
I don't think so. And this is where I got into this debate with an inanimate object. So it's it's trying to tell me that like we're stuck between these two positions. And I'm like, no, I don't think so. I think the ego plays into this because like you learn something and you get better at it, right? And then there are certain aspects of this thing that you can do without thinking about, right?
Right.
And then you get confident or you get cocky or you get egotistical about it. Like, I can tie my shoes. I can tie my shoes. Tyler's still over there trying to figure out how to double knot, right? Oh, was that? I don't know. Something buzzed, right? And we get cocky, and then we go to put our shoes on, and there's a knot, right?
Yeah.
And then we got to start all over again.
Right.
Right. So I think that we go through all four of those gates in this spiral pattern. And sometimes we're briefly at one gate and then we get stuck and we're there for the next gate for a long time. And then we figure out what we need to do to get through that gate. And then we whip right back around to gate number one, realizing, oh, wow, there's more to this tying our shoes than I realized. Mm-hmm. Like there's more things at play. And so sometimes we go through it and it's this nice constant circular pattern and it's this nice even keeled flow, and then something happens. We get hung up on something, we get stuck, or we forget something, and then we get stuck at a certain position. And then other times we go right through. Boom. So I think it's like an ever evolving flow.
Yeah.
Like this thing of motion and stop. And then we'll have motion, we'll be on a roll and things are happening, and then something hits us and we like get stuck at like the third position. And we're just stuck there because our ego's in the way. Right?
Those egos.
It's egos, yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's just some weird thing. I've been trying to grasp and work through this whole concept, and like, how are we going to talk about that? How do we want to talk about that? You know, that kind of thing.
Maybe you need to go find a closet at your house to clean while you're working through this processing this.
Or a window to stare out.
Or a window to stare out at. Just go sit near the window.
Yeah, yeah.
Honey, what are you doing over there?
I'm thinking.
I'm watching that squirrel.
Got quite a few of those. Well, hey, man, we've been doing this an hour. You think that's good?
I'm good.
I think we talked a whole lot about change, about adaptations, about all sorts of fun stuff. This was good for not having having a vague idea of what we wanted to talk about today. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Change. Yes. Yes. Hopefully you've changed. Hopefully you've grown. Hopefully you've learned something. Friends, all of our social media can be found at the Formless Pod. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all of those things there. We have an email address called theformlesspod@gmail.com. Reach out to us there if you have questions, comments, want to be on our show, want someone to be on our show, want us to be on somebody else's show. We're available. We have a website called theformlesspod.com. You can buy shirts, hats, sweaters, tapestries, pillows, book bags, stickers, coffee mugs, anything else that you can think of that we could slap a logo on, we'll do it. Hopefully you found this fun, entertaining, insightful, inspiring, all of those good things. And until next time.